Hey, and welcome to this new episode of 9x Tool Demo, where we introduce you a tool in 9 minutes. Today, I have the pleasure to be joined by Vasco, founder of Journalist.
Hey,
Hey,
what's
Vasco.
up? Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here and get to know you and get to know all these people. It's always cool.
Pleasure all mine. So I'm very curious to see your tool. Right before we started the episode, I confessed to Vasco that actually it's a tool that I have already recommended. I've seen you guys grow on Twitter, and it's been very interesting to follow your journey along. But it's a tool I haven't had the chance to try. So I'm really looking forward to see what's behind the scene. Can you tell us a bit more about Journalist?
Yeah, so Journalist is an AI tool that essentially automates your content marketing efforts. So we produce content for you. We automatically publish it to your site, SEO optimized. So with images, links, bullets, tables, content that actually ranks on Google. We then automatically index it in Google. We syndicate it to your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. So we are essentially an automated tool that helps you with all your content marketing efforts, in specific, ranking higher on Google and getting that search traffic from search engines like Google and Bing. So pretty short, that's about it. That's what we do. But I'll show you in a bit how it all works for sure.
And who do you target specifically? So who ends up using Journalist?
That's a good question, because our goal is to bring businesses more clients, right? When someone searches, for example, plastic surgeon NYC, right? If I have a plastic surgery clinic, I want to rank first, right? We help those guys. So we help local businesses. We also help agencies. We help anyone that wants to attract more clients via search engines. So the spectrum is quite large, but essentially business owners. Yeah.
Okay. And then one other thing I was wondering when I was considering starting to use Journalist for my own use case was how much do I need to know about marketing, about content to get started, and how much time would I need to get the first content out there?
That's a good question. I think, like with anything, AI is a tool, right? And you need to know how to use the tool, right? I can give a tool to a baby or I can give it to a grown-up. Most likely the grown-up is going to use it better, but everyone can use the tool. But the better the input you put in the tool and how you use the tool, how you use the AI, the better the output. So it's a hard question, but I mean, you can get set up in a couple of minutes, but to have the best results, you need to know a bit about marketing and sales and how to position yourself. But that's with anything, right? Yeah.
Okay, and maybe one last question before you get to show us the tool. To help onboard your users and get them to create amazing content, do you have any sort of onboarding or community or resources on YouTube to help them succeed?
Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff on YouTube, not just tutorials on how to use the tool, but tutorials on how to succeed with SEO, because that's very important, because it's not just about producing content. That's the easy part. It's about producing content that actually ranks on Google. And that's like a big iceberg with keyword research, backlink building, search intent. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So yeah, we have a lot of resources on that for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to show us the tool?
Yeah, for sure. I like to go over like visual articles. So I'm just going to go here to my dashboard. Don't be overwhelmed. There's a lot of stuff here. But essentially, if you go to Generate Articles tab, this is the input. And like I said before, the better the input, the better the output. Right? So this is how you generate articles. For example, I'm just gonna load here a preset for my dog grooming niche. So I can select the number of articles I want, right? I can select if I want videos in the articles, if I want images, what type of images do I want? I can do AI images, but I'm gonna do Bing images for now. I can do external linking, so that my articles link to external sources. For example, if I have an article about finance, I might want to link out to Bloomberg, TechCrunch, all these authoritative sources that convey the right information. Internal linking, I might want to link out to my homepage, my contacts page. There's a bunch of stuff right here. I won't bore you with this because I want to show you the output, because I think that's what really matters here. If I go here to Golden, I just generated a couple of these articles a while back. These are for the Golden Retriever niche. And what you see here is all AI generated. The images, right? The table of contents, the proper content structuring with in-article images, bullets, tables, quotes. There's also links to, in this case, this is an external link linking out to an article that's relevant to what this is about. For example, this is an article about how to groom a golden retriever, right? And this link is for prevent the need for painful shave down. So it's a niche specific thing. And actually this is a bad example right here, but let me show you another one right here. Reduce ear odor, right? This links out to a article about golden retrievers on how to clear their ears, right? So the links aren't just randomly placed, they're placed in a way that makes sense. There's in-article image, there's even videos down here. Again, videos that are relevant to what the content is about. And the thing with this is that, yes, you can write all this manually, but it takes so much time, right? Because you gotta first figure out what you're gonna write the article about, right? then write the article, then source the images, then source the videos, then the links. It takes so much time. And the cool thing is that I can skim through these ones and I can click here. This is weird because it's AI. I can click here to post my integration one by one, or I can just go here and publish all at the same time to my integration. Now, if I want to take this a step further, I can click here auto blogs. I create a new auto blog, and I can have the AI essentially connecting this AI with my site, right? Let's say this is my WordPress site, right? And I can have it produce content, however many articles I want, produce them and publish them every month, week, day, 12 or 6 hours. So essentially what this does real quick is you connect the AI with your site and it generates the content, it's the G, then it publishes the content automatically. On top of that, if you want to go a bit further, you can do it does the keyword research for you. So it finds out, okay, what are the best keywords I should be targeting in my niche to rank on Google? And it generates content based off of these keywords. It also does content indexing. And like I said, once the posts are published to your site, you can automatically syndicate them to your LinkedIn, to your Twitter, which is now called X, and to your Facebook, right? All this on Autopilot. It's pretty cool. So in a nutshell, that's what it does. It integrates with all these platforms: WordPress, Shopify, Ghost, Wix, Webflow, Blogger. By the way, with Shopify, we have a couple of clients that have e-commerce stores in Europe, right? And because Europe, of course, we have Portugal, Spain, Greece, right? There's all these countries which speak different languages. They have multiple auto blogs, right? One targeting the Portuguese language, another one targeting German, for example, one target Italian. And each one of these blogs target local keywords in those local countries. And so they're able to grab a whole big pie or slice of the market, driving traffic to their main Shopify store. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's essentially it.
What if I were an e-commerce shop, and so I need to have a presence in all European countries or most European countries? What was the previous way? How many people would I need to achieve that? And basically, how many people does journalist virtually replace once it's set up and running on Autopilot?
A whole team, essentially, because you could just go here, place in your URL. This is actually a Shopify store. Add your country and add the language, right? And it give you a list of keywords that you can target, right? And you can do this for multiple languages, right? And you have the AI generate keywords, generate content based off of these keywords. So, I mean, you can replace a lot of people, right? Because it takes so much time to have dedicated blogs in dedicated languages. By the way, I forgot to mention, if you go here to knowledge base, it's a pretty cool feature. You're able to produce brand tailored content. So essentially this brand right here, you can connect the AI, right, with your brand. And your brand is made out of assets, right? Your website is an asset, your LinkedIn page is an asset, any text documents you have, these are all brand assets, right? And what you do is you connect the AI with your brand, it's able to produce brand tailored content with your brand's mannerisms, your brand's tone of voice, your brand's images. So essentially non-generic AI content. It is pretty cool. I'm of course a bit biased, but yeah.
And so I have a use case, a personal use case. I started writing blog articles for our agency, and that is usually the exact opposite of a low-hanging fruit, like the last thing I have time to do. So I'm producing a bit of content, but I would like to produce more, maybe in my tone of voice, or potentially something that says more or less what I'm already saying, but repeats it or repurposes it. Can I inject the content that I write into journalists and have it suggest blog articles or other content pieces?
Yeah, you can inject context. So for example, if you go here to the knowledge base, you can add a link to your site or to a specific blog post, and the AI will analyze it, and then it's able to produce content based off of what you've already written in a certain way, right? Using your, again, it evaluates and analyzes how you write, what you write about, and essentially it's as if you had a co-founder, a co-worker on your shoulder at times, looking at everything you do, right? And then helping you produce the content. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I think, I think I will have to try it. Are there any things so I think I get the big picture at a high level, everything that it can do. Are there any pro tips you can drop for us or any cool feature you want to highlight?
So I guess I'll give you both. The things that I think that matters the most is before you can rank a site, before you produce content, it all stems from one thing, which is the keyword research, right? You got to figure out what keywords are you going to be targeting, right? And this helps you out a lot, right? Gives you this monthly searches and difficulty. But the biggest thing, and the thing I always like to do, is to draw this, which is what I call a keyword matrix, which in the y-axis, it has what we call buyer intent, and then the x-axis has traffic, right? And buyer intent, pretty straightforward. Let's say I have an iPhone repair shop, right? And I can have articles ranking for keywords like how to repair an iPhone or articles. These are articles bringing people to my business, right? Ranking for where to repair an iPhone or how much does it cost to repair an iPhone, right? This keyword, how to repair an iPhone, has a low buyer intent because someone's searching for how, most likely they want to do it themselves. While someone's searching for where or how much, most likely we can assume that they want to pay someone to do it for them. So these have high buyer intent. So when you're going over keywords, for example, here, you want to draw this matrix and target keywords here and here. You don't want to go here, right? Because these have low buyer intent, right? Low buyer intent, low traffic. Low buyer intent, high traffic means they're competitive, right? Because the highest the traffic, the higher the competition. So you want to go for these two, high buyer intent and lower or high traffic, right? That's the biggest thing I can tell you, because if you're doing this wrong, yeah, you can use any tool you want. You can use the most expensive, the best, the better tool. But if you fail at this part, most likely won't succeed. So this is the biggest thing, super important in the SEO space, which oftentimes people skim through. But I have a bunch of stuff on my YouTube channel, boring stuff about SEO, which if you guys want, check it out.
Sign me up. This already, I see already applications for us.
A cool feature, I guess, it's this one right here, which at the moment isn't automated, but we can build links for you. So essentially you connect your site, right? We analyze every single post on your site, right? And essentially the AI analyzes a post that's been posted like a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, right? And it goes over, this is the article, it goes over the article, right? Reads through it and finds places it can add links to. So essentially it freshens up your content, your old content with new links, right? It's pretty cool. It's definitely a feature that's been asked for. At the moment it's manually, but in the future it's going to be all automated. So yeah, then you can, like I said, post to social media. You can do a bunch of stuff here, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, but this last feature is really cool. I can think of multiple times in the past working with content agencies where basically it's a service that they'd offer to review your content and optimize it for you. Which this feature does exactly in a fraction of the time and just baked in your product. Really nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the overall demo. I only have like one question left. How much does it cost? Which plan do you offer?
Yeah, I guess I'll share my screen. Actually, no, I'll tell you just not right here. It starts from like $12. We have a pay-as-you-go package, just $12. You can try it out, test it out. Actually, it is free. We offer 3 articles for free. So you can test it for free in theory. If you want to pay for it but don't want to commit to a monthly plan, we offer like a pay-as-you-go plan, $12, sorry. And the plans start at, I should know this by the back of my hand, but the plans start at just $59 a month. And the thing is that we could even price this at $1 million a month. It's all about ROI, right? If you invest $50 a month, it saves you a bunch of time, right? You're able to offload work of your teammates, right? Because you have essentially a coworker, an AI, finding the best keywords, producing the best content, automatically publishing the content, syndicating it to social media, updating old articles. It does so much for you that, of course, like I said, I'm biased, but I think the value is there. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, those are the pricings right there.
Just putting it out there for people who will watch this. To me, it's a no-brainer. If it yields the result, you shouldn't even argue about the price itself. It's that cheap.
Yeah. Let me give you another analogy. Let me just share my screen here real quick because I think this is something that's pretty cool. I'm going to draw here. I always like to draw this staircase analogy. And let's call success up here, the last step, let's call it money, right? And previously, without AI, right, you used to have to go up these steps one by one. You got to figure out, okay, what keywords I'm going to be targeting, right? Then you have to write the content, right? Then you have to, okay, I have a wall of text, where I'm going to source the images to add to the articles. Same things for videos, okay? And then, okay, I need to add links to the articles, right? Okay, where I'm going to add internal links to, external links. So it took so much time. With AI, you just skip ahead of the line, right? I mean, you might not just go to success straightforward, but you skip all these steps because you don't have to do them manually. You can automate them with this wrench, this tool that is AI. And so that's what I usually say. I think it's a pretty powerful analogy. And I really, truly believe it, right? Because with AI, it doesn't have to be in the marketing world, even in the real world with robots, right? They can automate stuff, they can do stuff faster, you can go further and faster with less. So I'm really passionate about this technology and I think more people should use it. So yeah.
That brings a perfect conclusion. Thanks for joining us today, Vasco. We'll make sure to add the URL to journalists for people who are interested in signing up for the tool. And I think I'm going to try it now.
For sure. By the way, if you're watching this, you can use the code SECRET10 and you get 10% off. I don't usually give out coupon codes, but I guess if you watch this far, you deserve a coupon code. So yeah, SECRET10 gives you 10% off.
Super.
Cool.
Awesome.